Secretary Schmidt and Secretary Fontes, those conspiracy theories about massive voter fraud in Georgia have also been the basis for these mass challenges to the eligibility of voters by private, apparently partisan groups. Let me just share with you, for example, in Gwinnett County alone in Georgia, in the lead up to the 2022 general election, one county elections official reported that 5 to 10 election employees had to work daily for several weeks to process these overwhelmingly frivolous challenges to the legitimacy of voter registration. There were 65,000 voter registrations challenged in just 8 counties in the lead up to that election. One group coordinated challenges to 364,000 voter registrations across Georgia in the lead up to that election. In Gwinnett County, which I just mentioned, 37,000 challenges, overwhelmingly frivolous. The impact on the morale of the electorate to know that there are private entities out there who are working day and night to undermine their access to the ballot, to challenge effectively their rights as a citizen, it's demoralizing to the public, and it occupies all of these election administration resources processing these frivolous attempts to disenfranchise people. What is your impression of the impact of that kind of practice on election administration?
Thank you for the question, Senator. We hear of a DDoS attack against an electronic system where hackers will come in and absolutely flood a system with digital attacks so the system cannot work anymore. What you've described and what is real is an analog DDoS attack against our offices, but it doesn't just come in the form of frivolous complaints based on lies and conspiracy theories. It comes in overly voluminous and unnecessary public records requests that have absolutely nothing at their end. Now, I'm a big fan of transparency. In some cases, people have said some of my policies call for radical transparency. And so I'm not speaking against legitimate public records requests. But the idea here isn't so much what the nature of these attacks are, whether they're serious, significant, and voluminous complaints, as you've indicated, or these other kinds of requests. This is a coordinated effort to undermine the democracy that upholds our republic. It is a coordinated national attack against democracy in America. It is an emergent authoritarianism. Some would even say, as I have said, it is an emergent method to move us towards fascism in this nation. These little bits and pieces, the 1,000 paper cuts that we are feeling, as you've described, undermine our systems. And this is why now more than ever, we need the federal support that we have all asked for. I would agree 100% with Mr. Farley. We need sustained and consistent and robust federal assistance in the building up of our IT security systems across the United States of America. I think Nebraska's move towards getting all of their private providers on the Albert sensors, which we talked about earlier today, is a great move towards that. And what you're seeing here is all of us in many, many ways speaking towards the same thing. This system was designated critical infrastructure in 2017 because it is. You wouldn't want to underfund the dam that you live half a mile downriver from when you live at the bottom of the valley. You wouldn't want to underfund the bridge that you cross over that river to get to work every day on. But we are in so many ways not really paying as close attention to this particular part of our democracy. And it's also a combination of the accountability that I spoke to earlier with your colleague from the Department of Justice. And at the end of it all, as Secretary Schmidt pointed out, we spend a lot of time explaining, but the bad guys have shifted the burden. And they've basically asked us to prove a negative, prove that you didn't commit fraud, without bringing forward any evidence and without being held accountable for their lies. in the first place. The tactic is lie, and then when you're held accountable to provide evidence of that lie, shift to another lie, shift to another accusation, shift to something else. That's where we're at. And I think we need to be very, very much more robust in attacking the illegitimate attacks for what they are: conspiracy theories and lies designed to undermine our democracy.
Thank you, Secretary Fontes.
Thank you, Senator Ossoff, and thank you for hosting us for the Rules Committee field hearing that we had in Georgia on some of these very issues a few years ago. The first time we brought the Rules Committee on the road, I guess, for decades. So he was a good host. I don't think we have any other remaining questions, and I